Hey, Summit host, Dr. Mark T. Wade here, founder of Virtual Summit Software. And we have our weekly live coming to you right now. And we're going to be talking about a part of virtual summits that I think is important to discuss, especially after this last week. I had the opportunity of, when I was talking with my customer support team, hearing how things were going. We had a couple summits with summit hosts who had some challenges. And when I looked into those challenges, I realized, wow, I mean, a lot of this could have easily been prevented had that summit host either been aware of, how to overcome these mistakes. A lot of this was user error. Had they been a little bit more familiar with the platform and or had they taken a little bit more time to prepare instead of rushing into the summit. So what I thought is I would do this live this week covering that specific component. What are the most common mistakes or challenges that a summit host is going to run into, especially if they're setting up their virtual summit inside of Virtual Summit software? So with that being said, if you're not familiar with Virtual Summit software, you can check it out over at virtualsummits.com. Virtual Summit software is the quickest and easiest way to host a virtual summit. It is the #1 platform for hosting summits, and it makes it quicker and easier than ever. And you can get an entire trial, 15-day free trial, no billing information collected, just to go check it out and see if you like it. So inside of virtual summits, this is the summit dashboard, just to familiarize anybody who's not familiar with virtual summits software. We're going to see here, these are all my summits that I have here inside of my summit dashboard that I'm working on. Some summits are live and running right now. Some of them are on the Ever Summit feature, which means they're being rerun. Some of these are in draft or test mode. And then, of course, some of these down here are ended already. Now, with that being said, you're going to see here at the top, this is going to familiarize you with some of the most recent features we've had, like our interactive live chat, advanced analytic dashboard, payment management systems, new themes. We have over 20 different summit themes taken from some of the most successful summits on the planet, over 50 different summit templates to go through and use with that. So one of the most important areas to understand is when we're thinking about like what are the most common challenges or mistakes that a summit host make, especially when it comes to building out their summit, is it's not giving themselves enough time or familiarizing themselves with the platform that they're going to be using. Now, we're going to be specifically talking about Virtual Summit software, which is the easiest platform. So if you're using a different platform, I can imagine it would be even more complex and more complicated and more difficult. So it holds even more true that you need to give yourself time when you are building out your summit to have, one, some familiarity with the platform, and two, to have time to be able to go through and do it. The third thing I'm going to say is you need to test. You need to test it and make sure it's running in advance. Make sure it's set up the way you want it to be and that it's happening the way you want it to in advance before your summit is supposed to go live. Once it's already live, it's too late. Now you're in the heart of it. Now, one of your best friends here is going to be our help center. So if you go up here to the help center, we've got tours, we've got demos, we've got resources, but this help center right here is really where you should go to if you end up having any kind of questions, any challenges, any concerns, something's not working right. We've got a lot of different things here, but most importantly is this user's guide. This is a tutorial walkthrough of every single piece of the Virtual Summit software. Now, with that being said, you can usually start off by just typing in here and seeing what's going to come up. So let's say I have a question about my billing, how do I change my plan or what's that? So these things are popping up right here. How can I change or cancel my subscription after changing my subscription, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to see the different things there. Let's go back. Let's say setting up an offer. See what pops up on this one. If we hit enter on that, it's going to bring up all of these different how to add a summit offer, summit affiliate dashboard, offers, bonuses, tiers, coupons. So you're going to see this is going to give you, and these are video walkthroughs of the specific items and or challenges that you may need to know. How to create a summit offer. Part 1, the difference between an all access pass and a main offer. So I would highly recommend spending a little bit of time here, and especially in advance, but especially if you have a question. Here's the most common things summit hosts will do. They go, oh, I don't know how to set up a summit offer. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to send a support ticket in. Well, we're pretty good at getting responses back within, 6 to 8 hours, which is probably one of the fastest response times that I know of any tech company on the planet. However, you don't need to wait. If you just go to the knowledge base here and you just type in what your question is, there's probably going to be a specific video walkthrough showing you exactly how to answer that question. So I highly recommend definitely starting off in the knowledge base, type out your question, see what pops up, and get your answer right away. Okay. So let's jump in through some of the most common issues. And we're going to do that by actually getting into the actual summit. So just again, a quick overview. We've got here's our profile, our billing, the help centers right there. We've got that summit marketplace, which we got some cool new summits that have just been dropped onto the summit marketplace here. Again, the summit marketplace is a place where you can actually highlight your summit to our database of attendees who have participated in summits throughout the last 5 years. So this is a really great way to get some extra attendees into your summit without even having to worry about the promotion and the speakers and all that paid ads, things like that. So that's something that's not the first mistake, but that is a mistake summit hosts make, which is not setting their summit to be active on the marketplace. Now, how do I set my summit to be active in the marketplace? I'm going to go inside of my summit. And so just to make us a little aware here, so you click on whatever summit you have. If this is your first summit, obviously you're not going to have any summits here. You'll be creating a new summit. But once you're inside of your summit, here's your summit navigation bar. Okay, so here on the left. Now, this is going to give you a little highlight there. This is the things that you need to finish with your summit. Not all of them are mandatory. So if you actually click on this will tell you kind of the essential steps and then additional steps if you want. But this is going to be your summit navigation bar. If we go down here into overview, you're going to see marketplace right there. So a common mistake summit hosts make is they publish their summit. So let me show you what that's actually going to look like. So on a new summit that's in draft, and this is actually a mistake I'll see sometimes with summit hosts as well. And it's not because it's not intended to be a mistake, but they just don't know. They think that if they press this button right here, that it's going to publish their summit. This is where you go to publish your summit. Pressing that button is not going to publish your summit. So definitely make sure you go here, because this is really the overview of all the important, like, for once your summit goes live, this is the important area. Okay. So you have to hit publish first for it to go publish. And just understand, if you hit publish, there's nothing wrong with that. And you can always unpublish it later. The only thing that changes when you hit published is you can't change your summit start date. But everything else you can work on. You can change even before, during, and after your summit. You can change the speakers. You can change the summit details. You can change your pages, the offers. All of that stuff can be changed even after you hit published. So don't worry so much about that. It's not like it's more of an exciting moment than like a nervous moment. The only thing you cannot change is your summit start date. So just make sure you're aware of your summit start date. Now, what happens is when I hit publish, it's going to go from publish or unpublished to publish. It's going to go from test mode to live mode. But what happens a lot of times is my summit host won't realize that you have to activate the marketplace. We're not just going to automatically put your summit in the marketplace unless you want it to be there, which you should want it to be there. Okay, let's just open this up in another link, because again, this is where attendees are going to get access to your summit. This is like a free advertising for your summit right now. So you have to go here and you have to activate it to be in the marketplace. So that's a common mistake. Now let's go through some of these other areas. So if we're going to talk about, let's go with, where's that summit talks? So if we're going to jump into one of the summits, just going to go down here and check this. It looks like this has been changed. We're going to update that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So we go in here, summit talks. So one of the most common mistakes I see happen with a summit host is they're intending on running their summit just like any other summit. So if we go here and let me open this summit up, boom, this is a free summit, free to attend, free to register, boom, okay? And that's just like most summits. They're going to be free to attend, free to register. But of course, you're going to sell something on that summit, okay? So this is the registration page, and it's free to attend. Now, I'm going to have like a summit offer for people to buy after they register, okay, which is our summit. And this, there's summit tiers or the all access pass. Those are going to be available. Now, what'll happen is a summit host will come in here to the summit details and they'll see free event and they won't really think about it. They'll just go ahead and turn this to a paid event. Now, I don't want to mess this summit up, so let me just go grab a test summit. So what happens here is when I take that from a free event to a paid event, that means your summit is no longer free to be attended. It means they have to pay to get access. So the common mistake is a summit host will think this means I'm selling something on my summit, meaning I have something in all access pass or whatever that I'm selling, but that's not what this is intended for. This means that you have a premium summit, a paid summit. It's paid access to get into. So for example, if we look up here, this summit here has a registration. It's not free. It's paid. That's a paid summit. So for example, if I was searching paid summits, boom, this one's paid versus a free summit is going to be all the other ones that have no payment to attend. Okay. So that's a common mistake right there. And it's just not realizing that this is not talking that you're not going to have anything on your summit. It's not talking about you're not going to collect revenue on your summit. It just means what is the access going to be? Now, while we're here, another common mistake is if you're using a simplified theme and you set up your theme, let's go with, it's most common to do it on this theme. Oh, let me go back. Let's activate this theme. So you're using a simplified theme, which I highly recommend using. We're just going to put some stuff in here. And then save that. Now, if in my summit details, I have a dark cover, a dark image. So this is going to be my image. If you're using a simplified theme, the summit software is going to pull in all of the details from your summit, and it's going to create your summit site for you automatically. So it's going to build out your summit site automatically. All you have to do is essentially go in here and provide some titles and subtitles and make the sections that you would like available visible. Okay. Because you can hide any of these sections you want simply by making them hidden like that. Now, these summit details are part of what's going to be posted into that summit site. So this is going to be the cover image. This is going to be your logo. And this is your color scheme down here. So if you look at this right here, this kind of tells you exactly, but this is your font color. This is the cover image color. Okay, this is your primary color, and these are highlight colors. So if I have a dark font and a dark image, let's just go look. Let's see. Boom, boom. If I have a dark font and a dark image, look at this. You can't really see it very well, right? So this is a common mistake summit hosts get. They're not thinking about it at the time because they're in the summit details. So they're setting up their summit details, but your image and your color scheme are important. Your font and image need to be, or essentially once you get to your summit build out and you're looking at this, where you need to go to fix this is back to the summit details. Summit details here. And one of the easiest ways to fix this is you can either change your font color. So like, for example, if I were to make this a white font, that would stand out. But the other way is to essentially change the opacity here of your cover image. So if we save that and we just refresh this, we can see by changing that font cover image, it changes the background a little bit. So let's try it all the way here on the opposite side of that, and let's see what happens. So we made that light, that image stands out more, but my font's still not great. And if I make it dark, you can't really see the image. So I'm going to want to stay more here on the lighter side, but what I'm probably going to want to do is change my font color. Okay, so let's see here. If I go with, I don't know, let's just test this. You can always test it out. Let's just go with this. See how that does. And now that's starting to pop out a little bit more. So, okay, now I can come back here to my cover image, make it a little bit darker. So now it's a little darker. You can still see the image, but the text pops out. Okay. So that's a common mistake there is when Summit hosts get to their Summit site and they're using a simplified theme, their font and their image essentially match. Now we've got images available for you here already. So for example, if you just click on this and then click on that, we've already got dark and light images already pre-selected that you can go through and use if you wanted to as examples. You can just download those and use those in your image if you want. Another small mistake that happens is Summit hosts don't put in the categories or the Summit type. Categories are important if you're going to be putting that into the marketplace, because that's how attendees can search for your summit. The type of summit is there. Now, another mistake that happens, this isn't really a mistake. This is just an issue that there are with AOL and like Yahoo and Hotmail email providers, is that Yahoo and Hotmail block personal, as it says here, it blocks personal emails as senders. So this has nothing to do with the Virtual Summit software. This is something that's going on with Yahoo and Hotmail and AOL, where they do not, they are very specific and strict on what emails can get into their email users. So if you have like this reply to email here, we recommend it be something either a professional, like it needs to be either a business email versus a personal email, because as it says here, they block personal emails. Okay. They think it's spam. So either use a professional email or make sure you're using a different type of email, like your own, like for example, mark@virtualsummits.com. That's a professional email. Or you could use like a Gmail or another type of email. So that's something to be aware of there. Host, Summit, another common mistake. Summit hosts go in here and they go, ooh, just in time. This sounds great. So I'm going to turn my summit on ever summit and just in time before my summit ever goes live the first time. This is post summit. This is for when your summit is over. You don't want your summit to be a just in time summit when it's happening the first time, because you probably have email communications going out. Okay. So remember this, you just leave this off until after your summit ends. Once your summit ends, then you come back in here and set this on. We've got lots of videos and trainings on what is the Ever Summit and how you can, it reruns your summit as if it's happening for the first time, ongoing forever. Hence it's a forever summit or ever summit. And just in time is like they're getting in just in time for day one. And this software unlocks and locks things on an individual basis for that attendee based on when they opt in. So this is a really amazing feature, but you don't want it to be happening if you've got a planned summit with speakers promoting it, etc. You don't want that to be in advance. Okay. So that's summit details. Speakers. Let me go into one of my summits here. So we'll go with, let's see what summit. Let's check out this summit. So speakers. So this is where you're going to put all your speakers. Okay. When you're adding a speaker, super simple, super easy. We highly recommend sending a speaker notification so they can access their account as well, especially if you're going to be having them promote with affiliate options. Okay. Like if you're going to use this summit affiliate, if you're going to give them a referral link and they're going to promote. Now, this is simple to overlook. If you're using the simplified themes like we just talked about, this order right here, this speaker order, is exactly how that is going to be laid out on your landing page. Okay. If you're using a simplified theme, if you're doing a custom builder, then it won't matter at all. If you're doing the custom builder, then it won't matter, because you're going to be building that out custom. But if you're using the simplified themes, again, which the software pulls in all the information and builds out your summit site for you, it sets right here, it pulls in all the speakers and puts them in this order. But you can change that order very simply. You can just rearrange these like that. And then again, everything with Virtual Summit software is instant and in real time. Okay. So now we can see Pete's now up the front, Pat Quinn's up here, Lisa's in the middle. And again, that's just based on this right here. We can rearrange those however we want. And that is, again, instantaneous. So if you're using simplified themes and you want your speaker order to be different on that on your landing page, your registration page. And also where another area this is in your portal, the speaker schedule. Let me rephrase that. Speakers here. This is also this order. If you want that to be different, even if you are using a custom theme and you want your schedule or not schedule, the schedule is different. If you want your order of your speakers here to be different, this is where you do that. So you do that inside the speakers area by arranging them there. Speaker presentations. Okay, we've got interactive live chat. So interactive live chat, you should have your chat on. Like, why not? But you don't want it to be inactive. This is global settings, so I can turn them all on and all active right here. And that's exactly how I'm going to do that. Now, one area about speaker presentations that is missed a lot of times, so this is, again, is a mistake, is this is where you're going to put your speaker's free gift. Their lead magnet is going to go right here, and it's going to be attached to that presentation so that it shows up in their speaker, on their speaker page inside of their schedule. So this is where it would show up right here. And I can go find, I'll go find one in a second to actually show that. But the speaker free gift or lead magnet is going to go inside their presentation or under their presentation right here. And again, this is a lead magnet, so this should be going to their opt-in page. This is different than a bonus. Okay, mistake. This follows in with that mistake. This is different than a bonus. Let's see here. This is going to be different than a bonus that people are purchasing. Okay, so let me go to my Summit Talks. So the bonus that people are purchasing are going to be assigned here under Summit Offers, and then those are going to be placed inside of a tier. Okay, so you're going to create a Summit offer. These are the things people are purchasing. This is a free gift that I'm putting as a registration gift. This is my small tier, all access pass. This is my middle tier. This is my third tier. Again, these are the things they're buying. And this is my order bump. I add the bonuses that are going to sweeten that deal. And then I go in and I have my tiers. So this is small tier, middle tier, and higher tier. And then these are going to be the all access passes. So I assign the offer to this tier, that $67 offer, and I put certain bonuses in this. Then I go to my bigger tier. I'm going to assign that bigger offer we just created, even more bonuses right here. And that's what the attendee is going to get when they purchase this offer. They're going to get access to this tier and everything that's inside of it. Okay. So that bonus that you could get from your speakers, or you could give it yourself, is a free gift they get when they purchase. Email templates. Common mistake here is activating GDPR settings when you don't need to. So it's Europe, Canada, and I believe California. You should check into this yourself. I'm not giving any kind of legal advice, but GDPR settings are these mandatory additional opt-in settings that makes it even more difficult for people to opt into your summit, because they have to, they can opt in, but they can say, I don't want you to contact me. So they can get access to your summit, but you can't email them now or later. So unless you have to activate GDPR settings, just leave that off. These are your email templates. Okay, these are templates. These are notifications or reminders. These are not your CRM. These are not your daily emails that you'll be sending from your CRM. Another common mistake is when summit hosts go to edit these, they misplace the merger codes, which are these things down here. They put them in incorrectly, and then it can't auto-populate the information for your summit. So this right here is going to automatically put in that summit attendee's name, their name right here, and it's going to put in the summit title right there. But if you change this and you don't copy this correctly, then it won't happen. So that's a mistake that can happen. Schedule here, common mistake is doing order by time. Okay, order by time, we do not recommend doing that. This here is an advanced feature that we created because we had a lot of live event hosts who wanted to set up their virtual event and make it and run it exactly like an in-person conference, which is just not really how virtual summits are intended to be. So for example, if you do an order by time, that means if you're going to do order by time, you start by setting order by time, and then you bring in the speakers. I guess I don't have any speakers on this. So let me go to another one. See, do we have any speakers lined up here? Okay. So if you're going to do your scheduler here, what you don't want to do if you are going to do order by time, so you don't want to pull in your speakers because this is your schedule. Okay. So this is day one. This is my speakers in this order, and then this order for day one, first, second, third. Now, right now, anybody could, like on day one, they could get access to all three of these, but they're going to be lined up in this order. Now, if I do order by time, what that does is it means each session is going to be available for a specific time. So what I don't want to do is try and set the time after bringing all my speakers in, because when I go to change this, it's going to, before I can change the end of it, it reorders it. Okay. So this is a common mistake. They're like, oh, it's so hard or complicated. Now, what you want to do is you want to start off with, if you're going to use the order by time, which again, I don't recommend you do, but if you're going to do it, you're going to start by dragging in the speaker one at a time and then setting the time that you want that speaker, that you want this session to be available for. So let's say 3, and then it's going to be PM and 3 p.m. Okay, boom. And then now I bring in my next speaker, my next session, and I'm going to set this one to start at 3 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m. And we're going to have it end at 4 p.m. Okay. So now that's fine because they're getting put in the order. But if you just have them all in there, it kind of mixes them around and it can be complex. So now what's going to happen is each of these sessions are going to be available only during this time, which means this session right here is only going to be available from 3 to 4 p.m., which means you're going to get a lot of angry summit attendees because they're going to be like, I wanted to watch that session, but it was only available for an hour. So again, we don't recommend doing order by time. If you keep that off, now you just bring these speakers in, you put them in whatever order you want, these sessions here, and these are now going to be available. Let's say I'm going to have it start at 7 a.m. Oops, I need to make sure I set that. And then they're going to start at 7 a.m., whatever, and they're going to be available during this time. Okay, so that's the schedule. So that's a common mistake we see with schedule. Let me see what else we've got. Mistakes. Okay. So yeah, this is an example of a normal summit. Starts at 7 a.m. The sessions, you can set those for 24 hours, which just means these sessions will be available at 7 a.m. and they'll be available for 24 hours or 48 hours. 24 is very common. 48 has kind of been popular. And this is also where you're going to get access to that chat. You're going to actually, so you manage chat in the speakers area and speaker presentation. This is where you set your global settings, but you actually manage the chat here, which you can see. You'll end up seeing a notification when you have somebody commenting on your chat like that. Offers, tiers, bonuses. We've already kind of gone through this, but you're going to create your offers that you're selling first. So whatever you're selling, you're going to put that in there. You're going to create your bonuses, then you create your tiers, and then you bring the what you're selling into the tier you want it to be in, and then what other availability they're going to get there. Another common mistake I see summit hosts make is not setting the list to their to what list they want it to be. So essentially any attendee that goes into this, that upgrades and goes into this tier, is then going to go into this list. So you want to make sure you set that list. Now we have coupons. This was a brand new feature that we just released last week. You can set your coupons here. Common mistake with coupons that I can already foresee is you're going to just pick one tier. Most likely your coupon, you're going to want it to apply to every main offer. So whatever your main offer is you're selling on your summit, so that all access pass, which is probably going to be in all of your tiers. So just select all of those most likely. And you may not want your coupon applied to the additional offers. So for example, these would be your order bumps or your upsells. So that's something to consider there. Another common mistake is after you set it, another common mistake with coupons is not changing this to no limit. So if you keep this, let's say you only want to make 100 available. Then you would say there's only 100 of these available. But if you want it to be available for as many people that want it, as long as they take it during the time frame, then you want to set it to no limit. You also want to make sure that you haven't turned it off. Okay. So you want to test out your coupon codes. Sponsors, not really many problems there. Simplified themes are pretty easy, not usually too many issues here. Where we get into more challenges and issues is in the custom page builder. Okay. So this is just like any page building software. If you're not familiar with how to do it, it's going to take you much, much longer. So I highly recommend, if this is your first summit and you don't have any kind of, developer or page builder or funnel software person helping you, just go with your simplified theme. You would be surprised at how much better simplified themes perform than some kind of complex summit theme, usually because simple is better. Now, you do what you want, and we have more simplified themes coming out here shortly, but if it were me, I'm sticking with simplified themes unless I need to go for whatever reason with a custom theme. And if I am doing a custom theme, you better believe I'm not the one doing it. I've got somebody on my team doing it. So with that being said, some of the common mistakes here, it's not even mistakes, it's just challenges. But most common is buttons, not understanding what you're trying to do here. If this is your registration page, so you got a button here, this is your registration page. You want a registration modal. You want people to opt in. So a lot of times people will link to different pages or they'll do a pricing tier. This is where they opt in for free. Or another common mistake, they'll go in here to components and they'll grab this opt-in form here and bring that down with a button. Your registration button here, if you've set it to registration modal, it's going to pop up. It's going to automatically pop up the opt-in form. So you don't need to do anything else. You can just have register and it pops up. So I think I showed this already, but let's just go here. Boom, it pops up. Just that button right there. I don't need to bring in a form or anything else like that. So that's a common mistake or a common challenge we see with the page builder. Let's see here. What are some other challenges? Well, one of the big, so this would be an example here. So this is a button, this is text, but like if this button, let's see here. So this button is not going to do anything. This needs to be kind of changed out. Let's actually just see what happens here. Okay, so this is an actual form. Okay, so that's how a form should work. This button doesn't actually go and do anything. If I now pop up a registration modal, I'm gonna have people put their name and email in here, and then they're gonna be like, well, wait a second, it's gonna pop. I just put all my stuff in there. So that's something to keep in mind. Sales pages. Yeah. So, I mean, the main thing in the custom builder is it's just going to take you more time, especially if you're not familiar with, building out pages. So there's that. Summit affiliate right here. Actually, I got to bring this up. A mistake I actually saw recently is a Summit host created their sales page and they linked it to a checkout page somewhere else. So if you do that, that's going to break all of the tracking, all of the things the software can do to ensure that the attendees who've purchased, the attendees who've purchased get access to what they've purchased. The attendees who haven't don't get access to the other items. Like all these little things are super important, because if you send them outside of this, then it really is creating, it just breaks all the tracking and things like that. So let me see here. I'm just looking for a potential summit. I don't know why. Let's put this back into Ever Summit just in time. So, okay. So for example, the affiliates that we may have, okay. Affiliates, So all of the tracking that's going to happen here in test mode, or excuse me, that's going to happen will not happen if you send your Summit sales page outside of the software. And I don't know why you would do that, but if you do, it can't track the attendees. It can't make sure that the attendees are getting access to what they're supposed to. It won't be able to track your affiliates and give them credit for whatever, revenue that they've generated. And here's a pure sign to see this. If you've got leads coming in and you can even see affiliate clicks, but you have zero revenue, one, that should be a sign that something's probably wrong on your sales page. But two, if you've got revenue coming into your merchant account, but you can't see it here, you've set up your sales page wrong. So that's a potential mistake right there. So do not set up your sales page let's go back here. When you are setting up your sales page buttons, you want to ensure that that button is linking to something inside of the Virtual Summit software. Do not send your sales page buttons outside of the Virtual Summit software. If you do, you're going to end up having a challenge or a mistake. And that's, again, what's going to happen is you're going to say the Virtual Summit software is broken or it's not working. And we're going to go, no, it's working exactly how you've set it up. So when you go to the button, and again, I don't know why you do this, but you just want to make sure that when you're setting the action here, you don't want to send it to an external URL. You don't want to, what you want to do is you want to put it to one of your pricing tiers. This is your offers. This is what you're selling. So for me, this middle offer here, which is my main offer, my $697, my super pack, I'm going to link it to the super pack. This button here, which is my small offer, which is my Summit Pass, I'm going to link it to my Summit Pass. Okay. Now here's something you should do. This isn't a mistake. This is just something that's missed a lot of times, is on your sales page. If you're going to be sending your attendees there, you want to give them an option or a way to get to the summit. If they don't want to buy, you don't want them to be frustrated that I just opted in. Now I have no way to get to the summit. So you're going to do a couple of things. One, you want to bring in either a section, so a header menu like this, and set in a menu, or you just want to have a link up here again that links to, oops, if I can get in here, that links to the members area. So, okay. So now if I'm trying to send somebody from my sales page, this is not the button that they buy, right? The button that they buy on the sales page is going to link to the offer that I'm selling. But if I want to give them the option to go to the members area so they can actually attend the summit, if they don't want to buy, I'm going to set something here in the menu and I'm going to link to a page. Okay. So just quickly covering this, these are for buttons. Registration modal is an opt-in modal. It's the opt-in form. Login is for people who've already opted into your summit, but when they need to log in to get access to it. Okay. This is a scroll to a section. So maybe on your registration page or your sales page, they click the button, it takes them down to the offer. External URL is just like it sounds. You're sending them somewhere else. You will very rarely ever use that. Okay. Summit pricing is to the tiers, the pricing tiers. These are the things you're selling. Affiliate registration is for somebody to sign up to be an affiliate on your summit, and then link to a page. Link to a page is all the different pages inside of your summit. So if I'm on my sales page and I want to give people an option to go get access to the summit, they want to say, no, I don't want to buy, just give me the summit already. Then I'm going to send them to the members area. Now, if I create a button and I want to link them to the landing page, that's the registration page, or my privacy policy, terms and conditions, the thank you page, my sales page, what they've purchased, their bookmarks, resources, which is sponsors, etc. So I can create a button that will send them anywhere. So if you're on your sales page, you want to make sure you give them an option to get to the summit portal, the members area. So the other way of doing that is just below the button, just below your purchase button, you're going to put in a text button, which you can get here, buttons, text. So this button is just text, and you want to link that button, just like we showed, to a members area. So look, if I go here to my purchase button, it's pricing tier, and I'm linking it to the tier I'm trying to sell. Now, if I go here to my text, it says, no thanks, take me to the summit. I'm linking to a page and I'm sending them to the members area or the summit portal. Okay. So that is a common thing that's missed that I think was well worth talking about. Managed team, not usually any issues here. Attendees, not really any issues that are usually here, but just a quick overview. This is where you can see their transactions. Okay, this is where you can see their engagement. So what have they looked at? Let's see if this has any transactions. This one doesn't. So this is where you can get access to that. You can edit them. Oh, common mistake. Got one. It's not really the attendees. Usually, so when your summit's over, you can export these attendees out. If you're on the standard tier plan or higher, if you're on the free plan, you can't. But another thing that happens if somebody reaches out and said, I opted in for the summit, but I can't get access. Instead of sending them to the registration page and making them do it again, maybe they're having a challenge or an issue. You can just go here and add them in. Okay. And then pick which tier you want them assigned to. Okay. But the other option is you can import an entire list. Like maybe you got your members and you're like, hey, I'm giving you access to the summit. You don't even want them to have to opt in. Or maybe you've cloned the summit, you're rerunning it again, and you're deleting the old summit. You want the people who've had access before to maintain access. You can import in. Now, to import attendees, to import a list into this summit, there's a set format that it has to be. It's got to be a CSV file, and the header format has to be first name, last name, and not there's got to be a header. Like in each of the columns, one of them has to say first name, and it has to be written like this. One of them has to say last name, email, and then you need to assign that in your CSV file, because that's how the software knows that this is the first name, this is the last name, this is their email, this is what tier they're assigned to. Now, if you don't have a tier to assign them to, you still put that there, but it'll just be blank and it'll assign them to the lowest tier. Now, you have two options here. You can decide to send them all a notification. If you import them in, the software will say, hey, you've been put into this summit. So you can decide to do that, or you can say, I don't want them to be notified, and you can turn that off. Now, I highly recommend downloading this template, which is a template with these tiers, to at least look at it and or to just copy and paste your list into that list to ensure it goes over well. Because sometimes we have people who, that you just put the name wrong on the header format. The header format's wrong and it won't import them in. And then you're like, I don't know what's wrong. So there's that. Integrations are pretty straightforward. Overview here. Again, common mistakes here is setting your summit to test mode when you want it to be live. So if you're going to test everything, which you should, you turn it to test mode. Boom. Now it's in test mode. I can test it. I can go through the sales process and not have to put in any kind of payment information or whatever, but I need to remember to put it back into live mode. Otherwise, attendees on your summit are going to be opting in and they're going to be getting access to your purchases without actually having to purchase. Okay. Marketplace, don't forget to add it to the marketplace. Okay. You got to turn that on. And then these are all your links right here. This is your registration link. This here is going to be a preview, which means if you haven't published your summit yet. So if you haven't published your summit yet, this is something, that's worth knowing. If you haven't published your summit yet, this link won't work. This is your main registration link. You'll get like a 404 error because your summit's not published yet. After it's published, so if you want to check out your landing page before you publish, this here is a preview. So this is not the link you're sending out. This is a preview. This is the link you're sending for people to opt in for your summit, but you got to make sure it's published. This is the summit portal, the members area. This is your sales page. This is your thank you page. Now, if you're communicating with your attendees through your email platform and you're saying, hey, you've got them in two different lists. These are people who've not opted in. These are people who have opted in. Then the people who have opted in, you don't want them to have to opt in again, right? So you may give them this login link, which allows them to immediately log into your summit. They'll put in their email and their password that they created and immediately get access to that members area, that summit portal. So that's something to note there. So I think that covers this. This went a little bit long, but we covered a lot of the most common errors, mistakes, and issues. Again, the one thing I just have to rehash here is if you're inside of the Virtual Summit software, don't forget this help center. This help center is your best friend, okay? We are constantly putting items in there. You can just search for what challenge or problem you have. Keep it simple when you first search. Maybe you're going to go speaker, adding a speaker. So keep it simple as possible. And we saw things were popping up there, but you're going to have all these different options. How many speakers can I add? How do I add a speaker presentation? How do I add, let's see, speakers and presentations? How to add a speaker. Boom, I go to this. How do I add a speaker? Right there, there's a video walking through it. So please, 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 before you reach out to support, because it could take up to 24 hours to get a response. And if it's a technical response, here's something to know. If it's a technical response, if it's anything else, if it's billing or a simple question or access to something that you need access to, it's 24 hours max. But if you have a technical question and you're like, my video's not, the video is not showing up in my summit. Okay. So for example, the video not showing up. So if I hit this, we're going to see here, my videos are blank or not showing up into my summit. You have the answer right here. Okay. So it is going to be right here. If you send us that question in it's a technical support, meaning what you're telling us is you're having a technical issue. So we have to assume, one, is it user error, which it normally is, or is there a technical issue happening with the platform? It's going to take longer than 24 hours. So just go to the knowledge base, please. Don't be lazy. Don't send an email in. We get some people that send emails every other hour. Like, I can't figure this out. I can't figure this out. Everything is right here in the tutorials or user base for you. So please, please take access to that. If you have a question, try to find the answer inside of the knowledge base, because we've spent hundreds of hours. We're constantly updating this. We're constantly making new videos. That we get a question that comes in that's never been asked before, or a challenge, it goes into this tutorial guide. So please make sure you're using the Help Center. So, yep, that was most common challenges, mistakes, questions, issues that happen inside when setting up a summit inside of Virtual Summit software. Again, if you have not checked out the new coupon code feature and the engagement tracking, definitely check that out. If you have a summit, once it's ready to go promo, put it inside of that marketplace. If you're not already inside of Virtual Summit software, you can check us out over at virtualsummits.com. This is the quickest and easiest way to host a virtual summit. We're the first platform ever created for virtual summits back in 2016. You can get a full 15-day free trial, no billing information collected. So check that out. And if you have any feature requests, be sure to let us know. We'd love to hear those. And I'll see you on the next broadcast.